Welcome back. Andries, you've heard what Nathan Geffen has said. I want to give you an opportunity to respond to it.
Thank you, Judge. I hope Mr. Geffen had his facts right. It is very important to remember that when the commission started on the first day of October, both Advocate Mpofu and Advocate Ntsebeza were saying the outcome that would be derived from that commission, if not all parties were funded, is going to be very skewed. And this is the very same view that was expressed when we approached the Constitutional Court for interim relief. And we were saying we're seeking interim relief simply because we wanted the commission not to be compromised by the fact that there isn't funding, but that the commission, the court ought to order that we should have interim relief and then proceed with it. The issues about funding that Mr. Geffen is speaking about, only an amount of 2.6 million has been paid.
That's quite a lot of money.
It's agreed, Judge, but it needs to be as well a matter of principle. It needs to be known that the police team comes in at a fee of 3 million rands to the taxpayer's pocket. And we are seeking only roughly 240,000 rands per month. And that the two amounts cannot be compared, Judge.
But sorry, if you were earning 240 a month, I mean, how come the 2.8 is now, or the 2.6 or whatever it is, disappeared? I mean, it's clearly costing more.
We need to emphasize this, that we have a team of attorneys and only one advocate that comes through to the commission, has a plethora of consultations with these people, travels in and out of Marikana, considers and reads plenty of documents that we're talking about, and has to travel to and fro Rustenburg. And it was as a result of that only an amount of 2.6 was arrived at, Judge.
What happened to the other 2 million that I think Mr. Geffen was talking about?
That has not been paid to the lawyers as yet.
Could I put this point to you? It's a statement which was issued today by Patrick Craven on behalf of COSATU, and I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this. He says, and in fairness to you, he demands that the state should fund your legal team. But then he goes on to say, at the same time, COSATU is also critical of some of the lawyers who initially agreed to represent the workers and the families of the deceased on a pro bono basis, but are now insisting that they can no longer act without payment and expect participants to the inquiry to pay the same exorbitant hourly fees that they charge commercial clients. While still demanding that the state should pay the workers' legal costs, COSATU calls upon lawyers in the meantime to come forward and offer their services for free so that justice can be done and seen to be done, and so that the Commission of Inquiry can deliver a full and impartial report. How do you respond to COSATU?
Judge, from the first day of the commission in October, we had said that on the basis of the principle of parity of arms and for fairness and equity, all the teams that participate in the commission ought to be funded. And we only happened to be so fortunate as to get a funder that came through to say, for the period of October up until in December, we will be coming through to give you assistance in funding. As for the other issues relating to the number of people that are sitting in teams, that as well is an issue that we are saying, if we have assistance, we will go back and beef up our team.
Why can't you
in
go
our team,
back?
we only have one advocate.
But why can't you go back pro tem and do what lawyers have done for generations? That is to say, I'll do this job for a month or two without earning any money because it's the right thing to do.
Judge, here is a simple example of how our team is constituted. We have only one advocate, whilst other teams have got between 5 and 7 advocates. Even in other instances, you have 4 senior advocates. We are only saying, let us be given an opportunity to present the case of these people that we represent in the best manner possible.
I'll come back. Well, what do you say to that?
Well, I'm not denying that there's unfairness here.
There seems to be profound unfairness.
It's profound unfairness. But by saying we're not going to go back to the Commission until our fees are sorted out, you're creating an even further unfairness, a gross unfairness, which is going to delay the work of the Commission and leave 300 people approximately unrepresented. Now, there's a way out, I think.
What's the way out?
Well, the way out is for Advocate Mpofu and his team to say, look, we're not happy with the situation, but we've got enough money from to do our work, It's not as much as we would want. It's unfair. We haven't got as much as the other teams have got, but it's enough for us to do our work. We're going to do the honourable thing, and we're going to finish up the work at the Commission. If they had to do that, the public would welcome it. Advocate Mpofu would be congratulated. I would congratulate Advocate
All right,
Mpofu.
I'll give on to it, but Pierre, I mean, how do you unravel this conundrum?
There's, of course, a problem in that the Commission, the way it is structured, as I said in the beginning, is really, it really has the result of stringing out this process for a very long time. It could have been done already.
Well, isn't that because there's been an incessant amount of cross-examination of the kind that really is
so,
ridiculous?
So it is over-loyalized, and it's part of our formalist, very formalist legal culture that there's not really imagination about other ways of getting to the truth, a far more inquisitorial way of getting to the truth without the involvement of these armies of lawyers being paid by the state, some of them, others not getting funded at all, creating this unfairness. So a commission that is far more robust and is actually prepared to actually go and dig for all the information and not do the work that the lawyers are now doing. Such a commission that actually actively goes and seeks out the truth.
Could I just ask
be,
this?
The way out.
Isn't the exquisite, and I don't want to move into the area of the discretion of the Commission, which must do its work and it must come up with a report as soon as it can. But obviously, the difficulty is that once you do have lawyers involved, you over-legalize the process.
Yes, well, that is the point I'm making. And of course, there is also, especially if you're going to get paid by the state, there's some incentive for the lawyers to.
But isn't that because you need to have some sense of legitimacy as well? So cross-examination is a way of doing that, so, because the public then sees that everything has been tested and retested.
But that's once again, that is the way our system works and the way in which we have fallen in a way into a trap of over-legalizing everything in a very formalistic way. And I think that there are ways of getting out of that by thinking creatively about investigating.
We can think creatively. We're going to take a break before we can carry on thinking creatively.
News that moves. ENCA.com.